Alright, how is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back to another video, and tonight what I have for everyone is my software walkthrough for the Google Pixel 6a. So we're going to go over all the important parts of the software on the Google Pixel 6a. Then I'm going to point out some important tips that for settings that you guys and gals may want to change on your Google Pixel 6a or your Google Pixel in general. And then we're going to wrap the video up. Now, being as this is a software walkthrough, this video will not be timestamped, but it will be a long video because I'm going to go over my setup and I'm going to talk about some important settings and things of that nature. So this will be a long video. Alright, so strap in, let's get started. Now, starting off here, let's talk about my initial setup. So primarily I use one home screen, which y'all can see right here, and it has all of my mostly used applications on it in folders. So let's go through it. You can see I got the weather widget at the top. Now typically I use a shortcut widget from Google Weather, but on the Pixels they have a dedicated weather widget that gets populated as soon as you sign in, and you can't really remove it. But that's cool because I like weather widgets anyway. Then below that I have a quick shortcut to my settings, and then I have my folders here and some other apps that I use on a daily basis. Let's run it through. So the first folder we have is my fitness folder, and it has my YouTube music, my Google Fit, and my Planet Fitness application, because I am a Planet Fitness member. Shout out to Planet Fitness. Okay, that's the first folder. Now, I don't have my folders labeled because I pretty much know them by heart. So you can see when the folder is closed, there's no title, there's no label. The only things that are labeled are applications that I keep on the home screen. Everything else is not labeled. So that was folder number one. Okay, the next folder is my headphones folder. All right, so these are applications associated to my headphones. Right, so you can see I got the SoundPeats application for my SoundPeats wireless earbuds and headphones. I have the Galaxy Wearable application for my Galaxy Buds, and then I have the Pixel Buds application for my Google Pixel Buds. All right, that's my headphone applications folder. Right, and typically this has my Pixel Buds in it and my Galaxy Buds. I'm testing some SoundPeats buds right now, that's why I have the SoundPeats application. But typically I keep in this folder my Pixel Buds app and my Galaxy Wearables app, because those are my two favorite earbuds that I use regularly. And then other than that, if I'm testing out earbuds and they have a companion application, I put that companion application in here while I'm testing out the earbuds. Alright, and that video is actually almost finished. Alright, so that's my companion earbuds application folder. Right, then right next to that, my two voice assistants of choice is Amazon Alexa. I have Alexa products going all throughout my home, and then y'all can see we also have the Google application, because I have Google devices going all throughout my home. So those are my two voice assistants of choice, Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. Alright, and that's just a quick shortcut widget to bring up Alexa voice controls. Right, the next to that we got my Casa Smart Lights application. Right, and that just lets me control my studio lights and the smart lights in my bedroom here where I do most of my recording. I can also control that with my voice and Google Assistant, or I can control that with my voice and Alexa Assistant. But that's the application for that. Then right next to that, I have security surveillance cameras set up around my entire home, and that's what the Night Owl application is. It lets me see a live feed of my surveillance cameras around my entire home. Alright, then next to that, below, we have my most commonly used applications, and these are applications that I use when I'm testing products, right? Or I'm balancing budgets. So y'all can see I got a lot of calculators, because I like to balance multiple budgets at one time. And then everything else in here is self-explanatory. LastPass, a great password manager, AccuBattery for monitoring the battery and health and charge stats and screen on time for whatever device I'm testing. Ampere for measuring charge speeds. Google Files, that's Google's Files application. Tendinova for managing my Wi-Fi network throughout my home, and AC Screen Recorder for doing my screen recordings. That's actually the application I'm using to do this screen recording. And those are my most commonly used applications right there. Then we have my shopping and tracking applications. And again, it's not labeled, but I know these things by heart. So Amazon, UPS, USPS, and FedEx. Then we have my important financial applications, self-explanatory. Then we have my entertainment applications, self-explanatory. Then we have my social media applications. Feel free to follow me across all the social media platforms. I'll link that up down below in the video description. Okay. Then we got my messaging applications. Okay. My Google specific applications, and you can see I also have the Alexa application in here as well, because I use Alexa Assistant. So I have Google in here and Alexa in here. Then we got my web browsers. Of course, I can't speak highly enough of Google Chrome, but I can also speak tons for Brave browser, which is an encrypted browser backed by a VPN, which is always important for privacy. Okay. Then we got my camera applications, in particular on the Google Pixel. We have the camera, and then we have the Google Photos application, which encompasses all of the photo editing and video editing software in it. Okay, so that goes over my main setup. Now I don't have another page. I typically try to rock with just one page to make my interactions with my device as streamlined and quickly as possible. And then if I swipe up, you can see we're in the app drawer now. And now y'all can see all the apps that I've installed aside the stock applications that came on board the device. So check that out. Primarily, I just put on here, like I said in the unboxing, I just put on the Pixel only the applications that I use regularly. Similar to what I did on my iPhone, because there's no expandable storage on the Pixel and there's no expandable storage on my iPhone. So that forces me to streamline my experience to just use the applications that I use regularly. Alright? So that goes over my main setup. That also goes over the additional applications that I installed. Now let me show you guys how I set up my quick toggles. So if I swipe down twice, you can see how I have my quick toggle set up, and this is fully customizable. So if you want to customize your quick toggles, you can hit the little pencil icon in the bottom right hand corner. Alright, so you can see I pretty much set this up like how I set up the quick toggles on all of my smart devices. But you can see for Android 13, the quick toggles area is a little bit bigger for ease of access, and then it's split into multiple pages. My bad, didn't mean to click that. But it's split into multiple pages here, as you can see. Okay, but it is fully customizable. So if you hit the pencil, you can customize what quick toggles show. So I organized my quick toggles, and I took out the quick toggles that I didn't want to show. But these are all the quick toggles. But I only have the one showing that I absolutely use regularly. And I recommend that for ease of use and speed of use. Okay? But that's how you customize your quick toggles. Then you hit the back arrow to set it. And that's how the quick toggles are set up. Right? Then below the quick toggles, you can see we got a software power button to let us restart the device or power off the device or get into our power menu. You can also get into the power menu by using the power button. By default, the power button is set up to launch the Google Assistant, but I'm going to show you guys and gals how to change that. And then we have a shortcut to our settings application, right? And then below, we just have some commonly used apps that I use that I have always showing, even though they're on silent, but they're always showing. So my AccuBattery application, which is always showing my battery usage and time left. My LastPass application, the Google Translate, so I can quickly translate and copy and paste things, right? And then that goes over the initial setup. Now, let's say, you see how I have these 5 rows? By default, the Pixel doesn't come with the 5 rows across and the 5 rows up and down. To customize your home screen layout, you want to press and hold on any blank space on the home screen. Then you see this pop up here, and this lets us change our wallpaper and styles, which also, if we go in here, lets us change our icons as well, right? So you can see we got an icon customization beta. It's not fully rolled out yet, but it is available in beta format. And then we got our application grid. And this is how I changed to the 5x5 grid. So I can get as much applications or folders on the screen as I would like. So you can see we got 5x5, 4x5, 4x4, 3x3, and 2x2. By default, it comes set to 4x4. So I went in here and first things first, right off the jump, when I was done with the unboxing video, I went in here, switched that bad boy to 5x5, click on it, and then hit back, and it's set, right? Then the next thing I did was I went into wallpapers, and I picked me a nice solid black wallpaper, and then I let it customize the theme to go along with that, right? And then it also lets you activate dark mode from inside of here, your wallpaper and styles, but you can also activate dark mode from your quick toggles. And I pretty much have dark mode off on automatic activation. I activate it when I feel fit, okay? But you can activate dark mode from your quick toggles, and you can activate it from your wallpaper and styles, and you can also set up the dark mode to activate on a automated schedule if you would like. All right, but that's how I have my Pixel set up, right? So all black to because it's using an OLED display. So if you use a black background, you actually use less power, so you get more battery life. Shout out to Google for using the OLED on their budget Pixel, so you get maximum battery savings if you use darker backgrounds or darker colors. Alright, and then shout out to them for having automated themes here, right? So once I picked my wallpaper, it went ahead and matched the theme to it to go with the wallpaper, right? And I pretty much didn't change it, okay? So that's the wallpaper and styles. Let's get out of that. Now if you press and hold again, we got different widgets here that you can make. And depending on the widget that you want to use, it has different associated widgets. So you can see if I go into Amazon, I got 3 different widgets and a shortcut, okay? And then if we go into something else, like Google Fit, we have 3 different widgets that we use. Now, primarily I used to use this widget right here, the gold circle widget, and then this widget right here, the multi-stat widget. That's what I used to use with my Google Fit. Now I found that it's just easier to open the application when I need to. But this is how you set up your widgets if you want to use certain types of widgets. That's how you would get to it. I just wanted to showcase that. And then we also have some Casa Lights widgets here that I could use. Alright. And also Casa also has smart cameras associated with it. So if you get Casa smart cameras, you can look at your camera feed from the Casa app. Alright, but that's how you do your widgets. Okay, and then if we press and hold again, we can jump directly into our home screen settings. So this is where you get your notification dots, your Google at a glance, that weather widget at a glance, your icons that pop up on the home screen, your Google feed to the left of your home screen. So if I swipe over, you see my Google feed with stories and my sports. Okay, my Knicks are winning right now, or they won. Final scores. Kudos to the Knicks. Man, dang, Phoenix won too. All right, kudos to Phoenix. Those are 2 of my favorite teams. And then you can see I got my different stock applications, weather, all that up there in my Google feed, and then the stories. So you can customize whether or not your Google feed shows in the home screen settings, right? Then you got your overall phone search, your home screen rotation, okay, which I have turned off, okay? Then you have your overall app suggestions and your Google feed swipe to the left. We already went over that, and adding applications to your home screen as soon as you install them. Alright, and you can see I have most of this turned off. Alright, again, if it's something that I don't use, I say this in all of my software walkthroughs, I turn it off. So if you want to try something, you try it. If you don't like it, turn it off. Right? And with Google, you don't get any additional third-party applications. So there is no bloatware applications if you go with Google Android devices. Okay? So that's your home screen. That's my setup, and that's how to customize your home screens with widgets, with different layouts, and what you want to show up on your home screen on a regular basis. Okay, and you can see the suggested apps also show up at the top here in your app drawer. Okay, just wanted to show you that. Now let's get into some other important settings for the Pixel, and this next one is a big one that I wanted to point out because I found that it actually messed up my daily usage regularly until I figured out how to fix it. So if we jump into the settings here and we go down to battery and we go down to adaptive preferences, by default adaptive charging comes turned on by default to optimize your charging speeds based on your usage patterns. Apple has something similar in their iOS that they use to conserve battery, but also to boost charging speeds based on times when you're using and not using the device. So Google has something similar, but they also have adaptive battery. So the battery will learn your behavior based on the applications that you use and sleep different applications depending on how often you use them, right? Now, that's something I'm getting used to. Typically, I turn that off, but I found that leaving that on actually really does dramatically improve the overall battery life. And I found a way to work around it turning off my battery monitors, and I'm going to show you that. And this is also a way to get around it turning off applications that you want always running even though you don't regularly use them. Let me show you how to do that. So you can leave adaptive battery turned on, and you can turn on adaptive charging if you want to optimize the charging and extend the battery life of your device even further by letting it learn your charging patterns. But I want to have fast charging all the time while I'm testing the device and getting the charging stats and getting the battery life stats. So I'm leaving that turned off for now, but that's where you would go to get to that. But let me show y'all this workaround so it doesn't sleep important apps that you want to leave running, right? So make sure it's turned on, but then you want to go into your settings here and you want to go to applications. And you can see here in applications, this is where you can set your default apps, your default your default voice assistant. This is also where you can see your screen on time, even though it's not a true screen on time. But this is the new screen on implementation that Google has decided to go with. Again, it's something very similar to how iOS is set up, but iOS still gives you the actual SOT, screen on time. The Google implementation here does not. And I found that these numbers in here are not exactly accurate. So although it says my screen has been on 10 hours today, I doubt that my screen has actually been on 10 hours, right? But that's where you would go if you want to see that. And then you can also see your unused apps, and then you can see your overall app usage, right? Now, let me show you how to unsleep applications that you want to keep running. So to do this, you would come in here to applications, and then you would click on all apps. So you can see I have 109 apps. Then you would find an app that you don't want slept. All right, so let's just find the application that we don't want to be put to sleep. Let's use Capital One, right? So you come into Capital One here, and then you want to scroll all the way down to this right here. This is what sleeps your apps to optimize battery life. Pause application activity if unused. This will sleep the app if you don't use it regularly, and it will bump it out of memory. So if you want an application to always be ready to go, you come in here, you click on the app, and then you would uncheck this. Okay? Pause app if unused for a certain amount of time, you would uncheck that, because with that checked, it puts the application to sleep, and then it also puts the notifications to sleep. So I found that it was on by default, and some of my important applications I wasn't getting the notification, and or it was being put to sleep, and I'm like, whoa. So, some of these apps I don't want put to sleep. So that's how you make sure that your important applications never get put to sleep. All right, I just wanted to point out this important tip for your Google Pixel devices. This works across all Pixels running the latest software. Okay, now let's get into pointing out some other tips here. All right, so let's go back into the settings, right? And now let's go down to system. Let's talk about the gestures here and the different things that the Pixel gives you the ability to do, right? And let me show y'all how to fix the power button being used for Google Assistant instead of the power menu. To fix that, you go into system, and then you find gestures, and then here are all the gestures that your Pixel device can do. And to fix the power button always using the Google Assistant, you come here and you find the gesture that says press and hold power button. So you go in here, and by default it's set to activate the Google Assistant, and you can set up the pressure levels, so short press, long press, right? And that's what it's set to by default. And when it's set to that, you have to use the software power button to turn off your device or restart your device. Now, I feel like it shouldn't be like that, because your power button should be a power button. So to make your power button an actual power button, you come in here and you switch it to power menu. And now your power button actually behaves like a power button. And again, I gotta give shout outs and kudos to Google for their demonstration and their instructions. So they give you a live demonstration of what the option does, but they also give you detailed breakdowns with written instructions in submenus based on what you're doing in particular menus. So kudos Google for that, getting rid of all of the guesswork and giving y'all nice detailed tutorials and walkthroughs. Good stuff there. But that's how you would make the power button behave as an actual power button, right? This is also where you would turn on your quick tap gestures, your double tap for the power button, your flip selfie. When you take a selfie, it automatically flips into the proper orientation. Then you got your gestures for button navigation. Now, I was using the swipe gestures, but I'm way more comfortable with the 3-button navigation, okay? I've been using the 3 buttons for years. I'm way more comfortable with the 3-button navigation. Now, that does have a caveat or a negative, that with AMOLED displays or OLED displays, over time, having your buttons always on screen will create burn-in, but I'm okay with that. Now, if you don't want to create burn-in, you do want to use the gesture navigation, because on certain screens, when the gestures are not being used, it actually disappears. But again, I prefer the 3-button navigation, so that's how I have it set up, but this is where you would go to switch it. So let's get out of that. Then we also have tap the screen to wake the display or check your notifications from the lock screen. We also have raise to wake or lift to check. And again, when you go in here, it gives you a nice demonstration of what the feature does. And then you have the option to toggle it on or toggle it off. Alright, so good stuff there. We got one-handed mode, and this is all your gestures here. Right? So I just wanted to point that out. Now, also in here, you have access to your live translate. You also have access to your live translate from your quick toggles. And basically what live translate on, it will give you subtitles based on what it sees you're watching on the screen. And that's really, really cool, right? And then the rest of this is self-explanatory, and we have developer options for additional settings, factory reset options for different stuff, right? Factory reset options, if you're having network issues and you've tried everything, you can always factory reset your network, and that might fix it, okay? But that's what's located under system. Now, also in here, you can check, and there's an easier way to check it. You can check your software and software updates in system. Now, I'm gonna do it in system because if I do it the other way, it's gonna show a lot more information than I want to show. So let's check the current software, right? And you can see we're running Android 13 with the March 5th, 2023 security patch. So we're actually running the latest security patch. And that's one thing that I wanted to point out. Kudos Google for having fast security updates, but Pixel devices in general, when they're installing their updates, it can take a lot of time because of how they roll out their updates, and they still give you the ability to use the device while it's installing the update, but that makes installing the update extremely slow. Alright, so that's one thing I want to point out. When you do get software updates on your Pixel, it does install, but it does so extremely slowly, right? And then all the other settings on here are self-explanatory. Now, you can also check your software and updates from the security and privacy settings, right? So if we wanted to check the software and updates here, we have this nice little layout here along with some security recommendations and other settings and information. Now, for privacy purposes, I'm not going to dive into a lot of these settings, but if I wanted to check for updates, I would just come and tap on the updates here, and then it will check for the updates. If I had an update available, it will let me install it from here. So you can see my system is up to date March 5th, 2023, and my Play Store is up to date March 1st, 2023. So my entire system is up to date. And in terms of security, I'm pretty much good to go. All right. So that's really good stuff there. And essentially, guys and gals, that pretty much goes over what I would consider to be the more important aspects of the settings on your Pixel device. Now, there are some other settings like in phone calls, your spam detection, your on hold, your Google Assistant while you're on a phone call. And again, to go over those, that would involve showing a lot more private things than I'm comfortable with, but I will link up a content creator, shout out to Catwoman, aka Tech Valor, for doing a really great tutorial on those features. I'm gonna link up her channel down below in the video description. Y'all be sure to check her out. And if you like her content and like what she does on her channel, please drop her a sub, all right? She does some really great work. It's nice and detailed, just the way I like it, all right? But also, if you want to see more coverage on the Pixel, I will link up all the extended coverage to date as of the launch of this video down below in the video description, along with the purchasing links, and all the important information I feel you need to know will be linked up down below in the video description below. So down below in the video description will be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go, along with the affiliated buy links, meaning that when you use those links, I do get a small percentage of kickback that I do put back into the channel, but that's at no additional cost to you guys and gals. All right. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, you know what to do. I hope everyone is staying safe out there. I hope everyone is having a good day, evening, and or night, depending on the time and your location when you're watching the video. And I will catch everyone in the next one. We are out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.